The Loft 100 Studios. Don't act like you're not impressed. We always are. Day Trader Trio right there, live and in person. DTT. That's how they are known in some circles. Our show is also known as the Big Biz Show, sometimes called the Large Financial Program, depending on what part of the country or world you're in. Costa, Maribor Godwin back here with you. Sully, parts unknown. A tree might have fallen across his driveway. I don't know. Tree fell on his house, his car. It's like, dude, you got shoes? Walk. The only reason I'm saying that is because he's not here and we are. I'm normally not that brave when the boss is here. Joining us right now is Mr. Mike Robbins. He's an author, speaker, executive coach. His company is Mike Robbins, LLC. His website is Mike dash Robbins. Do we call it hyphen anymore, or is it just dash? Mike dash Robbins? Hyphen whatever.
Hyphenate my last name.
.com. And he's coming on the show today, talked about our connectivity in this world of AI and the fact that everyone's looking at a phone and doing all this stuff and really not looking at each other in the eye anymore. At least that's my own opinion. Mike Robbins with us here on the Big Biz Show. Mike, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Mike, you know, it still bugs the you-know-what out of me when I go to a restaurant and it's a family of 5 or 6 or 4, it doesn't matter the number, and everybody's doing isolated play. Like they're supposed to have dinner, they're supposed to be looking at each other in the face, how was your day, blah, 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 and literally everybody at the table is going like this. Can we beat this monster, or is the toothpaste out of the tube, it's never going back in?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right? It's the world we live in. It's the way we all operate and communicate. And whether it's us who, maybe aren't quite as young anymore, or definitely if we have young people in our lives, my wife and I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, so we know it very well. But I do think whether it's our family out to dinner or our teams at work, like the more that we prioritize analog human connection, not only does it feel better, but actually a lot of the research shows us people perform better and are more likely to engage and stay at their companies if they actually have real relationships with real human beings.
Hey, Mike, I want to ask, nice to meet you. Welcome to the show, by the way. And I see you have 5 books, my goodness. And one of it's called Bring Your Whole Self to Work is the subtitle, and leave your phone at home. But talk to me about what that means, because I've heard some people talk about quiet quitting and, people are working from home and remotely. But what's the concept behind bringing your whole self to work?
I mean, I think, I wrote that book a few years back, and really the idea being that, if we check ourselves at the door when we walk into the office, that's going to not allow us to be our best selves and perform at the highest level. Now, the way we work today, so many companies, big and small, people are working remotely, hybridly from home. And while what we do know is that a lot of individuals want to have the flexibility to be able to work from home, but in terms of company culture, in terms of engagement, in terms ultimately of performance for teams and organizations, if people don't actually show up physically on a somewhat regular basis, it's really hard to build sustaining relationships. So bringing our whole selves to work means that we're, whether we're working remotely or in person, we feel safe enough to actually be authentic and be real. But for a lot of the teams, a lot of the companies that I work with, big and small, it's figuring out, like, how do we actually build real relationships with each other and not just, turn ourselves into our own AI agents? We got to actually be real people.
Mike-Robbins.com is Mike Robbins' website. He mentions the clients he's worked with: Google, Wells Fargo, Microsoft, Walmart, eBay, and Pixar. Yeah, I've heard of all those. That's awesome. Mike, talk about prioritizing human connection with this AI gargantuan roaming the landscape now.
I mean, look, I think AI can be great, and many of us are using it in all kinds of ways to, speed up workflows and be more effective and more efficient, to do certain types of research and help us write better, and all the things that we can do. And we're still in the early stages of it. But again, at the end of the day, whether you're running a company that has 5 people or 50 people or 50,000 people, at the end of the day, most of us are in the people business.
Yeah.
And so building and sustaining relationships, both internally and externally, is always going to be an important part of the work that we do.
What are some of the ways that some of these brands can kind of go deeper than surface level and actually let people be authentic and let people maybe embrace the uncertainty of what's going on?
I mean, some of it, look, as fast as everything's moving today, it's really challenging. And again, I live in the real world. I work with some really big companies and people are all over the world. But creating time, even if we're meeting on Zoom for 30 minutes or for an hour, or we're not going to see each other on a regular basis because someone's in Silicon Valley and someone's in New York and someone's in Dubai, and we're just not going to share the same physical space. But when we connect, whether it's in person or virtually, do we actually create a little bit of time and space to connect with each other on a human level? And some of the teams that I work with right now, with all the change and disruption that's happening, are we talking about not only the technology and how we're utilizing the tools, but as corny as it might sound, like how is everyone feeling about the pace and all the change that's happening? Because if you don't take time to really check in with people, people do start quiet quitting, or people do start finding themselves more checked out, more disengaged. And sometimes, especially again, the way we work today, you may not notice. 10, 20 years ago, you would notice if someone was coming into the office and didn't seem that engaged or wasn't showing up for meetings. But it's harder to notice that these days, given the pace and the way that we work.
Mike, my family calls me this on all the time. They'll ask me a question or something, and I'll just answer, really? And it means I literally have not even heard what they asked me. I just completely, I'm disengaged. I did not even hear what they said.
You just said that to me right before we went on.
But Mike, authenticity, appreciation, how important are those for not only individuals, but for that team effort to actually be a positive?
I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, a lot of us, myself included, get distracted, right? Whether it's the phones, whether it's all the different things we have going on, it can be challenging for us to just actually pay attention, not only to the people we work with, but even the people that we live with. And it's not that we don't care about them, but I think sometimes, can we put our phones down? Can we actually just make real connection with people? One of the things that I've learned over 25 years of working with leaders and teams all over the country and around the world is that people really want to be appreciated. They want to be valued. I've been studying appreciation for 2.5 decades, and I've never heard a single human being in my life say to me, you know what, Mike, I'm just too appreciated. Right? It's really getting on my nerves. I wish my friends and my family and my coworkers would just stop appreciating me. It's annoying me. No, and so I think what we got to do is, in the midst of the busy lives that we all have, can we take a little bit of time to let the people around us know that we see them, that we care about them, and that we actually value them? And it doesn't have to be a big, long thing. It can sometimes be just paying attention to them, or just noticing something, or just asking a question.
I promise I will work on it and get better at it. Mike Robbins, author, speaker, executive coach, website, mike-robbins.com. Mike, appreciate the time.
I appreciate you, Mike.
We sure do. Really. Anyhow, that's going to do it for this edition of the Big Biz Show for the DTT. For everybody here who makes the show possible, for Mary Godwin, I'm Costa, and we will see you next time.